On this episode, we talk about writing offers and closing escrows. What's up, guys? It's Jason Cassity with I Sell the City Real Estate here in downtown San Diego, and this is episode 24 of Ask a Realtor. Thanks for tuning in. This is actually the second piece of content in my 30 Days of Real Estate campaign as well. If you haven't heard already, I was nominated as the best real estate agent in San Diego, and I wanted to reach out to everybody and try to get some votes, but I didn't want to bug the crap out of everybody, so I created the 30 Days of Real Estate campaign to produce a new piece of content, add some value to your life, as well as remind everybody to vote for me in the best of contest. So I will link that up above here on Facebook and YouTube, and now let's get right into the show. Hopefully I can answer some questions for you. Question 1. Question 1, what is a fair offer price? That's a great question. It's one that I get just about every time I write an offer, especially from first-time clients. They want to know, how low they can go or what the right offer price is. Obviously, it really really depends on the situation. In most situations, it's you can kind of just assume that 5% off the purchase price is not going to ruffle any feathers or anything like that. Here in California, this listing agent has to present all offers to the other side, but anything more than about 10% off the list price could be construed as frivolous. It starts to be like, okay, bro, like that's a little bit too low. But it depends on the situation. If the property's been sitting there for months, if the property is just grossly overpriced, then you can be 10 or 12% off it and still feel good about it. So generally, though, in this type of a seller's market, I try to tell my clients that anywhere in the 5% off range is a great starting point, especially if the comps support it and you can figure that out. Anything more than that, you're going to start to run the risk of not getting countered or even not even getting the offer presented if it's too low to be construed as frivolous. So great question. I use the rule of thumb of about 5% just offhand, but again, there's so many variables that factor in there. How long has the home been sitting? If it's day one on the market and it's a hot house, you may not want to go 5%. That's too low. You may not get the house. So there's a lot of variables. Try to keep in that 5% is not going to hurt anybody's feelings. So it's a good starting point. Thanks. Question 2, how quickly can I close escrow? That's a great question. Back in episode 2, we talked about what is escrow. We had Natasha Kaichis in here to explain escrow. So now this question is more specific to how long does escrow take? Again, there's some variables here. If it's a cash deal, if it's an investor looking just to do an all-cash deal, theoretically it can be as short as 2-3 days. As long as it takes for the sellers to get their disclosures over and the investor to do their due diligence, they can choose to do it as quickly as possible. Majority of cash deals I see are between 7 and 10 days, maybe 7 to 14 days, and that way it gives them a good enough time to get in and do their due diligence, do their inspections, review the seller disclosures, things like that. Now with a loan, whole different ballgame. With a loan, you can expect at bare bones minimum, probably 21 days. They have to, even if they have the file pre-approved, they still have to, once the address is selected, they have to order the appraisal and things like that, and that just takes time. So, the fastest lenders out there may tell you that they can close a deal in 12, 14 days, something like that. I would say if you're starting from scratch, the fastest you're going to be able to do it is about 21 days. More likely, though, 30 days is probably the safe bet. 30 days used to be the industry standard, and then in October of 2015, actually, there was a law change called TRID, and that actually added about 3 to 5 days to the loan process. So now some people are actually writing in 35-day escrows as kind of the new norm with loans taken on. And then if you have a FHA or VA, it could take a little bit longer. It just depends on the lender, but I would venture to say that 21 days on a loan is the shortest time possible that you should be writing escrows in. Really, 30 days is probably the safest bet, unless you have some sort of curveball in there and it's going to take a little longer. If you need to find a place to buy or something like that contingent offers, then you start to get into 45, 60 or longer days. But yeah, so 30 days is probably the best bet of where you would say your sweet spot is. Anything shorter can be done, but 21, I wouldn't go any shorter than that if you have a loan. And cash is cash. Cash is cash. It's really flexible. You can kind of, feel it out and do whatever you want to do. So hope that answers the question. Thank you very much. And that's it. That's episode 24 of Ask a Realtor. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get notified every time a new episode hits. This will also be on Facebook, Instagram, all the fun stuff. You can find me anywhere at Jason Cassity. Use the hashtag AskARealtor, and I'll make sure to get your questions answered. Thanks so much for checking in. Remember to vote for me in the Best of San Diego Union Tribune competition. I will link that all over here on Facebook and YouTube as well. Hope to see you soon. Peace.